Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Today I wanted to give you guys a new list of low cap and mid cap altcoins that I've been watching. These are altcoins that I have positions in or have just been interested in accumulating. So I wanted to go through. I actually made a tweet last week and talked about how I wanted you guys to show me all of your favorite low cap altcoins that haven't pumped. And so I went through, I found some of the ones that I was already holding, I found some of the ones that you guys recommended, and I just came through and picked a big list of my favorite 10 altcoins that I think that you guys should really pay attention for, because these 10 are going to be providing a lot of profit over the next couple months. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the fastest growing and the very best Discord community out there for cryptocurrency, and I would absolutely love it if you guys would join. It's free for anybody that wants to, and all you guys got to do to join is click in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord. Once you guys have access, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course in Signal. So if you're somebody that wants to copy all of my educational content that I have offered inside of my private chats on Discord, or you're somebody that wants to copy my long-term portfolio along with all of those other trades that I take, make sure that you guys stay all the way to the end of the video, because I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain how you guys can sign up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. Alright guys, we got a lot of really exciting coins to talk about today, tons of charts and analysis, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, the first one on the list today is going to be DAPS coin. Now this was the most recommended coin that was on that Twitter post that I made, and for a good reason. I think that this one is looking like it's about to be breaking out very, very soon, and it's just completing this rounded bottom formation. This to me looks like a solid setup, and the profit potential is actually really high with it. And so I've been actually going about diversifying into some of these low caps, even some of the mid caps a little bit more. You guys already know that I put a huge weight of my portfolio in the high cap coins, because in my opinion they're easier to trust, they're much more safe, they're not quite as risky, and so for that you can put bigger position sizes. For that, you also have a proven track record as far as how long the cryptos have been doing good, like Ethereum, like XMR, like XRP, things like that. Whereas these mid caps to low caps, you don't really have that assurity, and you're more just betting on the company itself or the blockchain or whatever it is the project is setting out to do. And so oftentimes I don't cover a ton of these low caps, but I have been diving into them a lot more recently, and so I wanted to share with you guys my favorite ones. So DAPS is going to be the first on the list, just because of the fact I love how this market cycle looks. This is just a really early cycle, right? Now, one of the things that I really do appreciate about this chart is the actual rounded bottom formation that we're seeing. And this is a really good sign to see inside of it a chart that's accumulation. Whenever you see accumulation on a chart, one of the quickest ways to identify that is to draw a horizontal support line. And so you don't want that to ever be breaking below a certain level, because if it keeps going lower, then obviously the chances of it doing that again are much higher. And so whenever you see a support floor that's being retested multiple times, this is once, twice, three or four different times, and we just see constant rounding on the upside. At this point, it was just rejections, and we kept failing to break lower until finally we got a higher high right here. And so realistically, this is our first impulse in this new move, and we're going to be seeing what I would expect to see is another little move, and then we'll keep creeping up higher as we get up towards this resistance up here, which realistically, from where we're currently sitting at to the top of the three waves, about 100%. And so that's kind of like, to our next resistance, it's legit like 70%, 80% approximately. So this has really good risk to reward. Just to the top of this resistance here at about 0.0004 cents, you're looking at about a 200x return, or about a 200% return. Then if it goes to the cycle high, you're looking at 500. And this is the type of cycle that it won't take very long for it to actually start breaking out and going into new all-time highs. And so that's why I've actually bought a little bit of this. I bought some of this at this dip recently, and so I'm just going to hold this one, see what it turns into, but I do like the setup on DAPS. Now, this is another coin that I have active positions in. I am in profit. And so if you guys ever notice any of these coins that I'm talking about, every single one of these that I have active positions in that I'm going to talk about today has already been posted inside of the Discord. We're already in profit. We've already made some money off of that. And so I just want you guys to know that if you ever want to be able to get insider access to all of these coins that I talk about before I make YouTube videos, make sure you guys sign up for the signals, because that's how you're going to be able to make this money. Because this was a gem that we caught not too long ago. I actually pulled the position. I pulled my first position here at 12.5 cents. So about right here. And then I actually added to my positions at about $13. And so overall, you know, it actually broke out again. So we're up about another 50% approximately from those re-entries. But this is one I just really like a lot. What I was watching for with this cycle was more or less just these levels here. I had this level as our resistance, and then I had this level here. This was kind of like the range. So this was a short-term support and resistance range. It was support here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance, resistance, and then we flipped it right here. And so this is where this area became support, but then we were still under resistance here at about $17. And so I took my positions right here expecting that we were going to get a breakout, and we actually broke above both levels, and we're closing above each of these. In my opinion, with how early this cycle is, we can see that we just had this big crash basically. With the amount of volume that's coming in here, these are the type of cycles where you just see them kind of just go skyrocketing up in value. And so for me, Melon was a no-brainer as far as why I would invest into that. So we actually got filled down here since about $12, $13, right around that range. And we're going to be looking to hold this one a little bit more long term because it just barely started breaking out. And so I think that Melon itself, even if you didn't quite get in as early as we did, it's still not a bad time. It's still pretty early. We just barely cleared above this resistance. This is a support and resistance flip, and we're just kind of getting the continuation from that. In my opinion, we haven't even seen anything close of what we're getting. We don't really have a resistance until about, you know, here in this range. So you're looking at about another, 80% move just from where we're at. So that's kind of what I'm going to be watching out for with Melon. I do like this a lot. This was actually recommended to me by one of my friends on Twitter that has actually nailed a lot of really cool coins that have been doing really well. So I trusted him, went for it, and now I'm in profit. So I wanted to share with you guys Melon. Now, next up is going to be TrussSwap. TrussSwap is one that I actually nailed a perfect entry on. I'm super happy about where I got filled. I actually bought down in here in this wick. It was somewhere at the lower part of this wick. I don't know exactly where. I'd have to look on the actual exchange because I actually bought in Ethereum. But it was when this sell-off was taking place. I bought in the bottom of this wick in some type of area, and then it ended up bouncing. And so I really liked this setup. It just looked like an early altcoin setup that you oftentimes see when they first get added to exchanges, where you make a pump, little short-term ABC correction back down, and then you just start pumping again. And so, in my opinion, this isn't even close to being done. We just broke out, even though we're getting this wick up here and it's looking like some short-term exhaustion. We could still correct, sell off to here, and then bounce higher. And that's what I'm going to be watching out for. If we do manage to get a little bit of a correction back down onto support with the previous high, that's a no-brainer that you should be buying that. That's a big support and resistance flip, and that'll come at about 38 cents. So I'm going to be watching out for TrussSwap. I already got my active positions in here. I'm already up quite a bit in profit, and I'm just going to be looking to hold this one because, we still have more volume coming in. It still hasn't even peaked past the cycle high. In my opinion, we're going to continue to see continuation from here. I don't know anything about TrussSwap. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. So, I just happened to see it down 30% when I was looking at my exchanges. So I just pulled the trigger and bought some. And I'm really glad that I did. And that's one of the cool things, guys. You see these coins right now. And one of the things that I can tell you right now is the fact that when we get these dip days like we're seeing right now, where coins are down, 10, 15, 20, sometimes even more than that. If they're low caps, guys, you'll see 30% dip days frequently. You can find these coins that people talk a lot about. If you actually go to if you go to CoinGecko, you guys can actually see trending coins. So if you go to the search bar and you can see trending search, and you can actually look at all the coins. Yeah, you can actually see TrussSwap is trending #1 right now, so that's cool. But you can see trending coins, and so sometimes if you ever look at these and follow the coins that are really hyped, people talking about them, oftentimes when you're seeing them on here, they're already going up. So if you keep like a list of them and just write them down and look at the ones that may be interesting that you'd look to catch a buy if it did dip, watch those ones, just check back with them periodically, write them down in a notebook or keep them on notes in your laptop or something, and then just go back and check, because that's literally all I did with TrussSwap, and I just so happened to see it down 30%, bought the lower part of this wick, and now I'm in a lot of profit. I mean, even if I just bought like right here, clear up here, I'm still looking at over 100% profit. So no matter what way, I'm in a lot, and I just wanted to share with you guys on how look for those dip days, look for them when they're crashing, because you can buy those, and it's almost instantaneous profit at this point in the bull cycle. Now, this one is called Swipe. This is one I'm interested in. I actually don't have an active position in this. I had the opportunity to buy this here. Somebody mentioned it to me, I was going to, and I forgot, and then it pumped, and I'm pissed at myself. But that happens in crypto quite often. One of the most valuable pieces of information that I think that I could give you right now is the fact that, if you guys had the opportunity of getting in at a low point and then you see it pump super hard, you're going to really want to FOMO, and you're in a really peculiar situation where it's like, oh my God, do I FOMO? Like, what if it just keeps going higher? Because that's the thing with cryptos, guys. You're going to see a lot of these coins pump. You're going to be like, oh man, that's a stupid buy. It's already gone up so high. And then it pulls 100x after that, and you're just going to be beating yourself up. But that's part of the game, guys. It's just important to understand that. But one thing I wanted to point out was just how early we are in this cycle still. You can still get away with FOMOing in right now. And I use that as a disclaimer because I don't just mean to everybody just go out and start FOMOing into anything. But where we're at in the cycle right now, we still can see these coins pumping. We're still early enough that we can buy those, and they'll still do such good returns because, these are still really early projects, and that's something important to understand. Now, when I look at this chart, we are right at resistance, and so that's something to understand here. We are currently sitting right at that major resistance here. If we look at the all-time highs that we've been at, we're right at that resistance. But when I look at this, it still doesn't look like it's complete. This is just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave impulse. So this is wave 1. This is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave impulse. This is wave 3. And in my opinion, I think we're going to get one more impulse that's going to break past this all-time high. Now, I don't know if it's going to be an extended 5 wave. That could be something like that. I don't know if it's going to be a little shorter one. But either way, I expect us to clear this all-time high. Maybe we get a correction back down. It could just be a quick little wick and then going higher. I don't know. But nonetheless, guys, I think that now could be a good buying opportunity. Obviously, there's more risk. Buying into resistance is never the smartest thing. But I do hear a lot about this. Binance actually purchased Swipe, and they're going to be using it as a Crypto.com type of use case. And so we all know what's happening with Crypto.com. It's just gone straight parabolic. And so I just wanted to keep you guys on the awareness with this. I know a lot of YouTubers have already covered this coin, and so I figured it would be a good time to talk about that. And so, understand that as buying right now, there is a little bit more of an inherent risk to downside. But at the same time, you got to understand that you got to place your bet with your trading plan in place. So what I mean by that, because it didn't even make sense, you got to know how long you're holding the trade before you take the trade. Are you holding this long term? Is this a short term trade? If it's a short term trade, set a stop loss. If it's a long term trade, I don't worry about the short term price action. I just buy and kind of hold it. And so if this was me, I'd personally look to buy at about $1.69. I mean, it could go lower, it could go higher, but that's just me. I'm actually going to be looking to scale into a position. Not anything too crazy, but just enough that I have some exposure to this. Now, next up is going to be Ergo. This is one I have a decent exposure to. I've been buying this one for a while. I actually started buying this one down here before the pump. We pumped. I bought more on the dip. And we're actually in more profit today. It's actually continued to go up a little bit. But this one was one of T. Katwari's top picks for like a 1000x project. I don't know anything about it. I do know it's DeFi. I don't really care so much about that. I like the cycle itself. And when you have the T. Katwari backing, I'm not a fundamental analyst, but I know that Tika has fundamental analysts that, do all of his charts and stuff. Not so much his charts, but they do all of the analysis for picking the coins in his newsletter. And this was one of the coins that he picked. And I've heard a lot of people talking about it, bringing up DeFi. You guys know how crazy DeFi is right now. So this is one on my list. This is Ergo. I really do like this for one reason. I actually bought this before the pump. After the pump, I sold, took 100% profit, and then I rebought the dip right here because this is just a support and resistance flip. That's literally all this was. We had this resistance. We flipped it. This is now acting as support, and we're going to get continuation as we start breaking out of these resistances here, because this is going to be the big thing. I'd really say this resistance at about 6 cents. We need to get above this resistance, but I would assume that where we're currently sitting at, that's going to be the next major move. Get a short-term break above this, and then we'll keep going even higher. And at that point, guys, I would expect that this thing could really easily start hitting upwards of these resistances, which would be about 21 cents, which from where we're currently sitting, you'd be looking at about, almost a 4x return. So that's really solid returns. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for. Anytime you see these coins flipping these support and resistance levels, oftentimes they look like these big pump and dumps. But when they flip these levels, that's what they look like. And so oftentimes they'll pump, they'll retrace the full move, and then they'll just pump even harder. So you got to watch out for those. One of the tips I can give you right now is watch for this pattern. You have a downtrend. You have a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. Watch for this. And then buy this, right? That's where you want to buy it, because this is where you get the continuation of a new trend. We had this bear trend, you know, something like that, or you could call it like this even, you know, it doesn't matter, but you're going to see this pattern. Either way, this. Breakout, retest, buy. That's the one that you're going to watch out for, because you'll make a lot of money if you find this. Now, next up is going to be Constellation. I have a decent sized position built on this one. I really do like what I'm seeing here, and I expect a breakout to be coming very, very soon. We're just hugging this descending resistance. Multiple reactions at this, and we failed to produce a breakout yet up to this point, but we're continuously getting tighter and tighter there. And I expect that very soon we're going to be experiencing that first breakout. And so I want to keep you guys in the loop. I already talked about this one a little bit briefly on some of the other videos. But the reason for liking this one is this is just a very early Elliott wave cycle. And we can actually see that right here. If I draw the Elliott waves for you guys, this was our wave 1, this was our wave 3, and this was our wave 5, followed by an A, B, C, D, E correction type thing approximately. I'm not really big in Elliott wave theory. I just map them out. But nonetheless, guys, 3 Elliott wave impulse followed by a corrective down move equals wave 1. So this is wave 1, and now we're working on wave 3. I expect wave 3 to actually break all-time highs. Wave 3 will be a big breakout. Wave 4 will probably fall back down to retest the highs, and then we'll get a final impulse like that. And obviously it can take a little bit. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to look something like that, because that's the way Elliott waves work. The 3 wave, or the next impulsive wave in the cycle, Elliott wave theory works like this, guys. The first wave starts the impulse. The third wave is the biggest, because that's where all of the FOMO starts to come in. And then you get the 5 wave, which is about the same size as the 1 before the correction. That's where smart money sells. In crypto, sometimes the 5 wave can overextend. So you can get a 1 wave, you can get a big 3 wave, and then you can get a huge 5 wave. That happens too. And so that's just something to pay attention for, guys, with Elliott wave theory. Either way, because we're entering the 3 wave, I expect this to be a really big impulsive move that if you didn't buy beforehand, you're not going to have the opportunity to. And then, you know, that 4 wave retrace will come back down, retest the cycle highs, and then we'll finish out for one more big 5 wave. Whether that 5 wave is a little short one, whether that 5 wave's overextended, who knows? Watch out for it, because you can't predict these type of things. All I can do is map them out and show you guys how the chart looks. And so I have active positions in this. Pay attention for Constellation. Adbank is another one that I'm in a decent amount of profit in. I've already closed out some profit. We managed to buy in the Discord about right here. And so we entered at about 10 cents approximately. I think we closed out a little over 100% returns. Oh, so yeah, I think we closed out about 150% return. So it would have been somewhere over here. But this one looks exceptionally well. We've continuously impulsed. I'm actually still holding my positions. I only took partial profits. And that's really what I do with most of these. I'll put a position in. I'll make 100% profit. I'll sell whatever my initial investment was. And then I'll move that into something else. And then I'll just let my profits ride long term. Because that's basically creating free money. And that can just compound. And who knows, guys, with how early we are in the cycle, you get a couple good trades. And, you know, you can just compound that interest. You take, let's say you take 0.1 Bitcoin in a trade. You get 100% profit. And so then you have 0.2 Bitcoin. You sell the original 0.1 Bitcoin that you took for the trade. And then you take that 0.1 and move it into something else, some other altcoin that looked really early. And then you take, you know, whatever the 0.1 profit of the coin that you just made is, hold that long term, because that 0.1 profit that you just turned into nothing out of the trade itself could turn into thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And so that's personally why I never try to look to take full 100% profit. I like to compound my gains. I like to let those winners ride long term. And with how early we are in the cycle, we can do that with, you know, a lot of confidence that the markets are going to continue to uptrend. So this doesn't always work, but I'm going out on a whim and actually taking this trading plan because I know how good it works for bull runs, and I believe that we're in a bull run. So that goes as follows. But Adbank is one, guys, that just recently started breaking out. I saw this and just could not resist to buy it, because what we're seeing right now is just a giant textbook example of a rounded bottom formation, right? And we're starting to see the breakout of that coming. Now, in my opinion, guys, we could sell off a little bit. We could come back down and retest right around here at about about $0.0025. And then I would expect a big breakout. Regardless, I'm expecting a big breakout. Whether we come back down, mess around a little bit, because this to me looks a lot like Acropolis did. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that. If we look at what happened to Acropolis, Acropolis made the same type of pattern before it started breaking out. Oh yeah, so here's our trading plan for Acropolis. We nailed the top on this. This is the two red lines where I sold. But this is the same pattern that we're seeing here that I wanted to share with you guys. Acropolis does this exact same thing where we had this big rounded bottom formation and then we made this big cycle impulse, right? So the same thing happened here. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So at this point right here, this looks very similar to the first breakout that we saw, where we're just getting these little breakouts. We sell back down. You know, we might come back down just a little bit, but then we're going to get another breakout. And it's going to look something like this, because it already does, guys. It looks very much the same. It's pretty much the same chart already. And so, you know, this is the type of stuff that we're going to be seeing with this, guys, and it's not hard. We overcomplicate things so often in our trading plans when all we have to do is just look at charts that have already pumped, layer that chart over something else that looks the same, and then just buy it, right? It's not that hard. We just overcomplicate things, but this is one that I really like. I have active positions in since down here at this red line. I'm going to continue to hold these out because I'm expecting a lot more impulses to come, so check out Adbank. Next up is going to be Ferrum. Ferrum is just barely starting to break out. I don't know anything about this, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. To me, this just looks like an early cycle. This looks like a 1 wave. This looks like a 3 wave. And it looks like we're going to get one more impulse into a 5 before it's done, right? In my opinion, you know, we might get one more impulse, but then we could see a little bit of a bigger correction. And before we keep going up, that looks crazy. It's going to go backwards in time. But something like this is kind of what I'm watching out for. Because, you know, a lot of these coins look the same. Like if we look at Energy Web token, that's one that kind of did the same pattern, where it kind of starts making its first little impulses, kind of rounds out, corrects, and then keeps going back up. Something along the lines of that. That's kind of what I'd be expecting to see. But at the same time, guys, with how early these cycles are, I don't like to draw so many Elliott waves, because the thing about an Elliott wave cycle is, you know, it could look something like this even. Let's say this isn't just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that this was our 1 wave, and we're working on the 3 wave, right? And so this is wave 1 of 3. We need wave 3 of 3 and wave 5 of 3 before we can complete wave 3. And then we get our correction, right? And then we still have wave 5, right? So Elliott wave theory is kind of hard because like this itself can fractal into something much bigger. And so with how early this is, we don't have much price history beforehand. With how early this is, these are the type of coins that you just buy, you forget about, and you just see what they turn into. Ferrum is one that has good fundamentals, or at least everybody on Twitter told me. I don't know, but all I know from this perspective is this is a triangle consolidation. This is like an ascending triangle. And we're breaking out from that, and then we're retesting support. And so we're going to get a further continuation from that, which is why I made this video covering this coin today. We're going to get continuation from this, and this just looks really good. See this volume? This is the one reason why I think that we're going to see a lot more continuation. This, to me, just looks like typical volume of a market cycle. You have the bear market, you have the sideways consolidation, and then you've got the bull market, right? And that's what we're seeing right here. Bear market, sideways consolidation, bull market. And it's just this phase, right? So just pay attention for this one. I like this setup. I think I don't have active positions in, but I'm actually going to be looking to buy a little bit of it and just kind of see where it goes. Now, next up on the list is going to be Tomoe Chain. I love this setup, and it's actually still in a relatively cheap point compared to, you know, hindsight. I actually bought this one down in here. I don't know exactly what price. It was literally at this point. I know where it looks like on the chart. It was right when it started breaking out. It was right here. So at about 5,000 Satoshis, I think. 5,000 or 500. I don't know exactly, but one of those. So I'm actually in profit. I haven't sold any of this, and I actually rebought the dip. This was my green box. We barely even poked in there, but I did manage to pick up a small amount for a re-entry, and so I love this setup. This, to me, guys, perfect example of a bear market correction. We broke from it. We retested the descending resistance. We retested the support, the horizontal support as well. And now we're going to get continuation from here. Going to get a lot more continuation. Tomoe on the dollar also looks good. In my opinion, it almost looks better in some ways because it's a little bit easier to see. So we had this major resistance here. We flipped that right here. And so really the only next resistance is the all-time high and beyond. And so I've actually been buying this one since down in here. I really like this setup. I think that this one has a lot of profit potential. There's DeFi being thrown around with this one's name. Like I said, guys, I'm not a fundamental analyst, but anytime you hear those words, coins pump. So pay attention. But just to that all-time high, you know, you're looking at about 100% gains. Really easy support and resistance flip. You know, these are the type of setups that you want to look for anytime you have a major level like this. And then we flip it, and then you see a sell-off at that level. Buy that level every single time, because you're going to see immediate profits over the next couple days after we, start to go back up again. So be paying attention for Tomoe. All right, guys, last up on the list is going to be P Network. P Network looks a lot like Ferrum, just the same type of cycle structure. From Elliott wave theory, this just looks like a 1. This looks like a 3. And looks like we're going to get one more 5-wave. All right, and I don't know how high it's going to get. 5-wave might overextend, it might not. Either way, we're going to get continuation. This is, once again, the same type of pattern, little triangle consolidation before, we break out of that. And so we're getting that same type of pattern. We're going to see a breakout. Declining volume in triangle consolidation is very bullish. That's exactly what you want to see. And so this is just more or less just looks like a really easy chart for me to pay attention to. So that's really why I wanted to give it to you. Right now, it's still a relatively good buy. We're about to break out of the apex. I wanted to give you guys all these coins because it's the dip day today. So generally speaking, it's a good time to be picking some of these up. I expect continuation. I don't think any of this stuff's just done. Bitcoin's not topping out. Ethereum's not topping out. Ethereum's going to $800. Bitcoin's probably going to the all-time high. And that's just the way it's looking, guys. All these little low cap coins are going to be popping off. You could pay attention for them now. We could make a lot of money trading these. And so one of the things I want to talk about before we wrap up the video, because this is all of the altcoins I had for you. I wanted to mention that, for the people that have noticed all of these altcoins and you want to actually copy these, you want to make some money off of these, these have been posted in my Discord. I took positions in P Network all the way down in here before any of this pumping even started. So I'm in a lot of profit in every single one of these coins, except for the ones that I specifically mentioned. Not in Ferrum. I'm not in Swipe, but that's it. Every single one of the other ones I'm active positions in. So 8 out of the 10 I have active positions in that are in profit. So I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with this. I wanted to explain how you guys can sign up for the video course and signals for the people that want to copy this, because you guys would have got access to every single one of these calls before it started pumping, and virtually every one of the calls that I talk about on this channel, which is why it's important, guys. When you get in early at the cycle, your profitability 100% depends on the opportunity that you seize in the moment. Right now, with how early we are in the cycle, buying right now compared to buying 2 months from now is going to mean a 20x return from a 100x return, and it happens instantaneously. When these markets start going up, the odds of you getting that crazy big return that's just going to net you life-changing wealth isn't going to last long. And in fact, we're at the final stages of that. So if you guys want to actually be making these insane profits, it really does pay to follow somebody's analysis, follow somebody's trading plan, because when I got into the market, guys, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't get to capitalize on it as much as I wish I could have. I didn't get a hold of Ethereum throughout the length of the cycle because I didn't understand what I was doing. What you guys are going to be taught to do is more or less life coaching inside of my Discord, because one of the hardest things about investing in the market is just you getting in your own way. It's not so much about what the trade's doing, it's about you getting in your own way. You might get a trade that goes right, but you don't know how to manage that trade, and then you just end up holding it back down to a loss. You don't take any profits. Something happens entirely different where you hold it back down and then sell it at break even only to see it keep going up. These are all the types of things that you pay somebody to help you with inside of the Discord. And so, I already know how good I am at this stuff. I already know how well these signals have been doing. I have a lot of confidence in my own abilities, and so I don't need to, sell myself on that. I'm merely explaining the type of opportunity that you guys are going to get by joining for that signals. And so the Discord itself, I offer the video course and I offer the signals. The video course is 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys all of the skill set required for trading. Basic stuff, support and resistance, trend lines, intermediate stuff, market cycles, Fibonacci, advanced stuff, trading plans, risk management, taking profits, things like that. And so you guys are going to get a full round deep dive into how to be a profitable analyst inside of that trading course. And I'm also going to be adding new ones down the line. So this is for the people that want to learn how to do all the stuff that I do every day. You want to look at your own charts. You want to take your own trades. Now, for the people that would rather just copy my long-term portfolio along with all those trades that I take, the signals is going to be the thing for you. And really, if you guys are on the fence about picking one or the other, I'd always recommend going with the signals, because you can make the money to buy the course if you actually want to pursue that later on. And so that's what I always tell people. You guys can actually purchase them together or separate. It's $1,000 each or $2,000 $10 for both. I accept crypto or credit or debit. So if you guys want to actually get access to that, all you got to do is click in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Once you guys click that and you guys have access, you can shoot me a message, or you can shoot any of the 6 moderators a message, and we'll all be here to help you guys get started on the right path of profiting today. With all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for the support. Check out these coins. Lots of profit potential to be had. Make some profit. Check out the signals. And yeah, guys, it's just going to be an exciting moment to have you guys a part of all of this, and just to see how well you progress over this bull run is going to be just, I'm excited for it. I've experienced it with myself firsthand, and now I just want to see you guys get rich in the process. With all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. As always, peace out.